Statesman Nation. We are here with Coach Todd Hafner as we preview the 2018 football season. Coach, 15 years.
15
years.
It's awesome.
I know.
It's been awesome.
It's been a good, fun run. I showed up a little after you, and we've dug in.
We've kind of done this together.
We've entrenched ourselves in Statesman Nation pretty well, I think, for a little while. But
yes, we have.
So let's get right into, I guess, first off, talk about last year a little bit, and then we can talk about preseason, and then we can break down the team as we're looking at it. But last year, some ups and downs, having some injuries and such, but overall, finishing off with the Rock and Ladder Trophy in our hands, not a bad way to end the year. So I guess just recap it a little bit.
Well, it really was ups and downs. We went down to Baker to start the season last year and really had our opportunity to win the game, and didn't get it done, and then go down to Mo Valley right after that and get a big win there, and then come home, really didn't play very well, and so it was really, like you say, up and down.
Yeah.
And we hit a little bit of a run there right at the end of the non-conference schedule where we won, I think, 4 in a row and maybe 3 in a row, and just kind of set ourselves up for the conference. We played really well over at Culver and beat them, and then went to Peru and just had them, and we just didn't finish the game, right? And which is unfortunate because that really kind of kicked us in the gut a little bit, and then Benedictine had them down and didn't get it done, and then went down to Graceland, kind of got our wits back about us and played really well that day, and really at a point where our kids could have really just gave it up, and we didn't. We're very proud of them for that, and then come home for the last game of the year against Grandview and played obviously the best game of the year against a really good football team, and it really set us up for the off season. I think that our kids, it really energized us, it motivated us, however you want to look at that, and so going into the off season we felt good. We had a great recruiting class. We've got a bunch of really good football players here right now, and that are young, and we returned 18 guys that started the game last year, and so we feel good. It's we got a long way to go to be a really good football team right now, but we're well on our way and very proud of the way the kids have reacted so far.
Yeah, you alluded to having so many returners back. I mean, you always hate to lose your senior class. I mean, especially those guys. I think almost all of them were 4-year guys.
Right.
So they went through and continued to build the tradition and everything, but you return so much, though. It's not that, we just have to rebuild, excuse me. It's more of this, hey, we've got a lot of guys that have a lot of experience coming into this 18 year. So I guess let's just start breaking it down. Let's go wherever you want to go.
Well, let's start on defense. I mean, I think that, let's be honest, most of our All-Americans and All-Conference kids are over there. And so, you look up front, you have Rashawn Coleman, who's returning, obviously, first-team All-Conference, Defensive Player of the Year, first-team All-American. I mean, he's different. I mean, he's long, he's lean, he's fast, he's good. And, you have Anthony Jackson, who, we've moved from defensive end to nose guard, not because he's a nose guard, but because he's a beast.
I was going to say, he doesn't look like the nose guard.
No,
he doesn't.
I mean, he's not that. Hunter Berry is a typical nose guard for us, but Anthony Jackson has moved in there, and we were just talking about him after practice this morning. He brings so much athleticism inside that it's hard for people to block him, and he's so strong in the upper body that he can hold his own in there against the bigger bodies. And so, having him in there, we have Marquise Knightons, who's a freshman. We have Travion Jones, who's going to be a junior this year. That'll both, all three play in the nose. But and then on the other side, you have Cooper Gosh and Derek Harris. We have brought in a junior college transfer, Jalen Cooper. Who's as dynamic as any of them. And so, up front, that's kind of where we feel, that's probably our 2 deep plus, and, we can move all those guys around. They can all play inside anywhere. If we need a speed team on the field, we can put that on there. If we need a big team on the field, we can put that on there. And so, we feel good about that. At linebacker, you have, Mason Wissey. I mean,
it all starts with Mason Wissey. In 2 straight years of first-team All-Conference, you deserved.
Right, and he's a leader. I mean, he was named one of our team captains in the spring, and rightly so. And then, the other two, Clive Manua is back at our Will linebacker, but our Mike linebacker is a question mark. I think we're starting to see it get filled with Jaden Fletcher, junior college transfer from California that has shown a lot of good things. Matter of fact, he's really good. And so, we're looking for depth, and our depth at linebacker will probably be young, to be honest with you. But it's one of those things that, we feel good about the first three. Now we need to go find a couple just to make sure that, everything's solidified there. At our Bronco position, which is kind of our outside linebacker position, you have Jason Neugebauer, who's back, and then we actually moved a player over there, Jonathan Thomas, to go play defense.
All right. Okay. I was gonna bring him up eventually, try and figure out because.
Right. So what we did, he actually came to us, and it was one of those situations where if we left him where he was at, we were going to have a good player standing on the sideline. And he came to us. He didn't ask if he could move, but he said if a move needs to be made, I'm completely fine. And
awesome.
We moved him over there, and he's playing great. So between he and Jace, they'll battle it out. And so it's one of those things. It was a blessing.
Yeah, I mean, you got an athlete there, like you said. You don't want to waste him.
Right.
I mean, he's just sitting there just in case somebody gets injured, and hopefully nobody does. And if that's the case, then he's not utilized.
Right. And so it wasn't. This is the best move for our football team, and he realized that and was all on board with that. So that's what makes it even more exciting, you know. And so
team player for sure.
Right, and in the secondary you have Josh Vasquez and you have Rashad Ali in the back at safety. On the corners you have Detorian Rollinson, you have Brandon Davis, you have
Brandon's back.
Brandon's
healthy. Healthy is what I was looking for. Not
Brandon,
hopefully he's safe. And
he's healthy. He's back healthy and feels good. And Ray Watson has been kind of a bright spot. He's done a really good job. So between those three guys, and then we'll be young again at the in the backups. But it's
but the starters. That's a lot of names that Statesman Nation should know about from 17. I mean, they did a lot of. Ali had 4 interceptions last year
as a freshman.
I mean, and guys were in every play, it seemed like. I mean, all of those guys had a lot of great experience last year.
They're
not green.
The fact that we have young depth is nothing new to us. Yeah, I mean, that's something that in the NAI you're going to have some. It's just how it is with the number of scholarships you can play and things like that. And so we were fortunate we didn't have very many of our kids transfer.
Yeah,
and we have 166 kids at practice right now, and right now I don't think we've lost anybody. I think everybody's pretty on board and feel good about where we're at on defense. Yeah. That's it's going to be a strength for us for sure.
Definitely. All right, flip the side, go to the other. Obviously, start with quarterback.
Well, right now, with the move of JT, Tyler Wood's our guy, and
that solidified that.
And that was okay. We kind of felt that may help, and right now his backup is Alex Crehan. Alex is a great athlete in himself. We were gonna and still will utilize Alex on special teams and things like that, just because. But the majority of his work will be as our backup quarterback for now, and hopefully nothing happens. But if we have to start him, we'll be fine with that. Right. So those two have been battling out, and then the plethora of I think there's 5 or 6 freshmen come in, and it's just one of those things. The talent this year is just different. I mean, there's so many of them that could be the number 3 guy that we're going to let that play out for a little bit. Yeah. At fullback you have Amos Johnson's back, you have Ben Sherman back, you have Nate Ball, who's a baseball player, is playing football now, and
awesome.
And so he's doing a really good job. We're real excited about him, and Trey Nimmers was here with us in the spring, transferred from UNI, and so those 4 guys have kind of made their way and kind of found a spot there. At slot back you have Grant Smallwood, you have Jordan Nunnery, you have Colin Lynch, you have Jesse Bade. So those will probably be the top 4 going in right now, with 3 or 4 varsity spots open for some young guys. At receiver we have Jordan Kusert's back, and there's so many of them right now that are all fighting for spot right now.
Right.
Luke Masters, is probably our guy right now. He's
special teams all-star.
Yeah,
right
he
there.
is. He
is. He literally was, because he got the special teams award last year.
He was our special teams MVP.
Yeah.
He'll obviously play a big role in that also. Hunter Anfison's back. So, the 3 are probably the top 3 guys right now. And so...
Obviously hurts in losing Jeremiah Benson.
It does, yeah. He had an unfortunate deal this summer. Just was jumping out of the top bunk of a bunk bed and just landed wrong and tore his knee up. So So yeah, it's a freak accident. So up front in the offensive line, you have starting from right to left, you have Zach Tracy at tackle. His backup right now is Nico Robinson. At right guard, you have Hayden Stender, who is a first-team All-Conference player. He was named our other captain. We named 2 captains in the spring, and he was named the other one just as a junior. Sione Mafua is back at center. His backup's Jason Castano at left guard. You have Hunter Daly, who's been a mainstay in our offense he's been a 4-year starter. And Charles Nelson's his backup. And at left tackle we have Malik Williams right now. Nick Jackson still had some issues with his back. He hurt his back in the spring, and we're still trying to get all that sorted out. But as soon as he gets cleared, he'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
He's been a 4-year starter for us too.
Yeah,
so
another all-conference guy.
Yeah, all-conference guy. And then at tight end you have Alan Retchin, and Trey Bennett will be our tight end. And so, that's too deep all the way around. And so, it's when I can sit there and name them all, that means you've got some experienced players.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like, I know these guys.
Yeah.
Like, you're not saying a lot of guys that I've never heard, or you're thinking, oh, hey, look, we got a freshman here and a freshman here. And that's fine, because obviously they're going to eventually have to see the gridiron. But it's nice to know that right out the gate, you've got guys that went through, I don't want to say the mess. Just went through it all in 17 and got a spring under them as well. So at least, there's a bunch of guys that have
some
3
of those
or 4
guys,
years now.
I was going to say in 16 when we won a championship, they helped us win.
They were big time guys back then. So there's it should be a lot of excitement with a lot of those positions and everything. So
a lot of good competition.
Healthy is always the key,
question.
obviously. Special teams, break that down just a little bit as well.
Well, Hunter Beam's back. He got injured the first game last year with it was really kind of a freak injury with his hip, and he couldn't kick. There's something happened in there, and so he went through rehab and went to orthopedics and went there, and basically it just came down to he just needed to rest.
Yeah.
And so we told him to take a summer and don't overdo it.
Yeah.
And when we get here, we'll not overdo it. He's looked great. He had a great day today. We kicked a bunch of field goals and extra points after practice today, and he went 100%. So I feel really good about where he's at. Punter wise, Jace will probably be our right-footed punter, and Tyler Wood will be our left-footed punter.
Right.
A long snapper, Ben Sherman will be our long snapper. So we feel good about our special teams game. We have a lot of good players back. We'll have to find a replacement on punt and kickoff return for Jeremiah Benson.
Right.
We're in the process of trying to find out who that may be by committee. We're not sure yet, but Grant Smallwood and Ray Watson and Brandon Davis.
I was going to say Brandon Davis. Yeah. Took a bunch of them last year.
Before he got hurt. So those guys are back, and we put a big emphasis on our special teams, and we like to be good on special teams, and so it's one of those situations where we don't expect any letdown in that area at all.
Right. Hunter Beam's going to be the kickoff specialist.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes,
no,
so
that's
also
fine. I just wanted to
just
kind of confirm that in my own head.
Yes, we'll kick off, and Tyler Heffelfinger, who ended up kicking for us last year, extra points and kickoffs, is obviously he's back too.
Yeah.
So we have depth there.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's great. Break down the schedule a little bit. Talk about the Heart. There are 6 total teams, right? If I'm remembering,
right.
I just wrote last week. 6 total teams ranked or receiving votes. So, and then you also throw in Morningside because you just like a challenge, obviously.
Hey, why not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So the one non-conference game we get the number 3 team in the nation going up to Sioux City in a couple weeks. But I guess just break down the schedule a little bit, highlight a few games that it's going to be a dogfight week in week out, and I think even the I don't want to say cellar dwellers, but the teams that have normally been low are probably a little stronger.
Well, no question.
I think
we'll get to Culver, but anyway, we'll start right off out of the bat, and August 25th we're going to travel and go play Morningside.
Yeah.
Obviously, a fantastic football team.
Right.
They have a tradition like no one in the country almost. I think they've won 7 or 8. They're right there with Grandview. Won 7 or 8 outright conference championships in the GPAC and ranked number 3 in the country as far as the coaches are concerned. And we'll go there and play hard. We'll go and give them our best shot. They return 9 starters on defense. I think they returned 6 or 7 on offense from a team that went and almost beat the team that won the national championship. And so we'll have our hands full, and it's a hostile atmosphere. Coach Strong, who's on our staff, played at Morningside. so we've had a chance to talk to him a little bit about what a game day experience is going to be like, and he said it'll be almost like nothing we've ever been through before. It'll be a lot of fun. There'll be a lot of people there, and it sure would be fun to go upset the number 3 team in the country right out of the gate. Then we get the number 7 team in the country come to our place. Baker comes in, and we played a great football game against them last year. Had our opportunities to win the game and just didn't get it done. Then it's Missouri Valley, who's picked second on the other side of the conference and receiving votes. And then we have Mid-American Nazarene. Not sure what we're going to get. New coach. Not an unfamiliar name for sure.
No.
Coach Sturdy was at St. Ambrose for a long time. He's been at Eastern Washington or Western Washington, one of the two. He was at Washington State. He's been at Iowa State. Coach Sturdy's a great man, and he's a fantastic coach. And so we know that program's going to be going in the right direction, no question about it. Evangel was kind of the surprise of the conference last year. Central Methodist has kind of reloaded a little bit, and we caught them, for us, at a good time, for them at a bad time. They were really banged up, and so we were expecting a lot different game at that point, and Evangel is right there. So it's not an easy go, but we'll go play hard, and that's the thing about our kids right now is we don't have to ask them to practice hard; they just do it. And then we'll have a week off, and then we'll have homecoming with Culver. Culver's probably, in my opinion, will probably be the most improved team in the conference. They didn't lose very many players.
And they get some athletes out there.
They did, and they got better. I mean, as the season wore on, they definitely got better. Peru State's going to be mirror images of each other. We're going to run the option at each other and see who does it a little better. And last year they did it. They did. And and then we have Benedictine, who's going to be fantastic. They lose some players on offense, but I think they had 9 or 10 starters back on defense. Graceland will be much improved with the second year coach in the program. He didn't get the job until late last year, so he didn't even have his own kids in there basically. So he'll have his own kids, and then we'll go to Grandview and have another dogfight.
Yeah, and they'll try to take back the trophy.
Right.
So we'll just make sure it comes back to us.
That's right. We'll take it with us, but we plan on bringing it back.
Exactly. I guess final thoughts on this year. We're going to be talking week after week and everything, but I guess just kind of the keys to success, as I always say.
Yeah, I think the keys to success for us is, number 1, to stay healthy, and I think number 2, don't let our experience kind of control who we are. I mean, we need to. You have to prepare every week. You have to play hard every week. You have to, do the right things. You can't get stupid penalties. Like mental penalties. Pre-snap penalties and things like that. You can't do little things to cost you the game. You can't turn the ball over. You can't, all those little things. But I think this team has great leadership, and that's one thing that we started to notice toward the end of last year. After we got beat by Peru and after we got beat by Benedictine, like I said, it would have been so easy for us just to turn it down and check it in. And, our coaches were going to do our part, obviously, but if the players don't do anything, then, there's not a lot. But it never once crossed their mind. And, when we went down to Graceland and did what we did and then, came home and beat Grandview, it gave our kids a lot of confidence. But I think it really developed a lot of leadership qualities in a lot of our players. And as long as we get quality leadership from our guys, we're going to be in great shape.
Definitely. All right, Coach. August 25th.
August 25th, 1 o'clock.
Around the corner. So,
it is.
All right. Best of luck. Like I
Thank
said,
you.
we'll be talking to you as the year progresses. So.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.